In today's video we will discuss the top 15 Nintendo 64 games. Please make sure you subscribe to the Top 10 Jaw-Dropping Facts channel. New videos drop Monday through Friday. Number 15. 1080 Snowboarding. Fun fact, this spot was going to go to the N64 version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, but then I remembered Tony's butchered soundtrack. It's hard to look past that thing. So instead, 1080 Snowboarding gets the nod that it's too often denied. Before every extreme sports game tried to be THPS, 1080 offered a unique and fundamentally enjoyable snowboarding experience that emphasized technique without sacrificing pick-up-and-play fun. Number 14. WCW/NWO Revenge. WCW/NWO Revenge surpassed the success of its predecessor, World Tour. Within a month, it became the highest-selling console game in North America. Like its predecessor, Revenge also won 1998's Fighting Game of the Year by the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, marking the second consecutive year an AKI/THQ title achieved the honor. It would quickly reach Player's Choice status and become heavily responsible for THQ's profits in late 1998 and 99. Number 13. Wave Race 64. You don't hear many people talk about Wave Race 64 these days, which is quite surprising. Not only was it one of the best of the arcade-style console racing games of its era, but it's one of the games that helped showcase the power and potential of the N64. Wave Race 64's visuals won't blow any minds these days, but this game's amazing track designs and incredible controls make it shockingly easy to pick up, play, and enjoy even if you are a graphics snob. It's a testament to the quality of the N64's other racing games that this isn't higher. Number 12. Resident Evil 2. There are a few logistical reasons you won't find a lot of multi-platform games on this list, but even if more notable third-party games were ported to the N64, it's doubtful they would have been able to steal the spotlight from this one. Considered by some analysts to be one of the most technologically impressive N64 games ever made, the N64 version of Resident Evil 2 did things that shouldn't have been possible. You could make the argument that it was the best way to experience Resident Evil 2, which means it's one of the best ways to experience one of the best games ever made. Number 11. The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Much like Super Mario 64, it's hardly controversial to name Ocarina of Time one of the best, or in this case, the best, N64 games of all time. Both were entries into beloved franchises that changed game design forever, and still arguably stand tall as the best in their respective series. So what separates Ocarina of Time? It comes down to dreams fulfilled and expectations exceeded. There's a degree to which Ocarina of Time was the sweeping epic we dreamt of whenever someone made big promises about the future of 3D gaming. However, only the wildest dreams dared imagine an adventure this grand, this confident, and, strangely enough, this accessible. Over 20 years later, the game still possesses that ability to stun, excite, and make you fall in love with gaming all over again. Number 10. Super Smash Bros. The Super Smash Bros. Series didn't reveal its full potential until Melee, but it's impossible to talk about the best N64 games without giving the original at least a little love. What should have been a gimmick turned out to be one of the N64's most surprising hits. Anyone could hop in and enjoy playing this fighting game with friends, and most of us had the privilege of doing just that and forging some great gaming memories in the process. Number 9. Mario Party 2. Choosing which N64 Mario Party game to highlight is really a toss-up, but in case you're wondering, the quality of Mario Party 2's minigames ultimately put it over the top. In any case, Mario Party 2 remains one of gaming's greatest digital board game experiences. Equally capable of making or breaking friendships, Mario Party 2 is one of the riskiest dice rolls when it comes to game night selections. That's honestly a big part of the reason it's so easy to love. Number 8. Diddy Kong Racing. I still can't believe that Rare had the guts to challenge Mario Kart in an arena that franchise pretty much built, but it has to be said that Diddy Kong Racing came closer to dethroning the king than anyone thought was possible. Diddy Kong Racing's incredible courses and the way they forced you to utilize different vehicles is undoubtedly one of the game's highlights, but as an N64 gamer that didn't constantly have someone else to play with, I've also always appreciated how this title featured a single-player campaign that was so much more than racing against bots. Number 7. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. Playing as Diddy and Dixie Kong, you must battle your way through the varied lands ahead of you. You can switch between the two primates at any time. Diddy is a little faster, but Dixie is the better character to play due to her slow falling technique, which comes in usual often. Together you can do a team-up attack too, which adds an added bit of depth to the game. This game is a sequel to the legendary first one, Donkey Kong Country. There are about 50 levels and countless mini-games along the way. You will certainly get your value for money here. This isn't the easiest platformer on the SNES, so you'll have to keep your wits about you. Number 6. Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong Country was a commercial success upon release in November 1994. The game sold over 500,000 cartridges in its first week. Within a month of its launch in the United States, its sales reached nearly 500,000 copies. Donkey Kong Country was a major factor in keeping sales of the SNES high at a time when the next generation of consoles, including the Sony PlayStation and the Sega Saturn, were being released. Number 5. Mario Kart 64. The Mario Kart series has this way of charming people who don't even like video games, much less racing games. It's one of the best-selling Nintendo franchises ever, and to be honest with you, so much of what makes this series an almost otherworldly success can be traced back to Mario Kart 64. The original Mario Kart was obviously great, but Mario Kart 64 spun it out at the starting line with its wonderful 3D courses, which are still among the best in franchise history, incredible controls, and a multiplayer mode that might just be the best on a console that's kind of known for them. You could still play this game today and not feel the miles it has accrued. Number 4. Star Fox 64. If I'm being honest, I've always felt that the original Star Fox was more of an impressive technological demonstration than a truly great game. It was a lot of fun, but it was also pretty clear that there was a better game at its core just waiting to burst free. Star Fox 64 was that game. You could push aside the fact that Star Fox 64 changed gaming forever with its Rumble Pack support, and you'd still be left with this classic's visually stunning action, blissful combat, incredible multiplayer modes, and brilliant controls. This is just a complete N64 experience, and one of Nintendo's best games of the era. Number 3. WWF No Mercy. Am I outing myself as a lifelong wrestling fan with this selection? Possibly, but No Mercy is still the best wrestling game in a console library that happens to include many of the best wrestling games ever made. More importantly, this is still the game that modern games are trying to live up to. You could argue that some wrestling games released since No Mercy have come close, but the fact that this is still the measuring stick for an entire genre 2 decades after its release is an accomplishment that only a couple of other N64 games could possibly claim to match. Number 2. Super Mario 64. I feel like you could justify Super Mario 64 as high place atop any list of great games by saying that it did for 3D games what Super Mario Bros. Did for 2D games. That is to say that it's the most innovative and important 3D game ever made. However, it's almost cruel to boil this game down to its technological accomplishments. The thing that glued people to Super Mario 64 in 1996 is the same thing that makes the game so great now: its heart. This is a love letter to the very idea of gaming that so happens to be on the short list of titles that you'd put in a video game time capsule. Number 1. GoldenEye 007. Some say that your love of the N64 is directly related to how many people you were able to regularly play N64 games with. In the case of GoldenEye's legendary multiplayer, there's obviously some truth in that statement. You know what though? Even if GoldenEye was just its campaign, unlockables, technological achievements, and James Bond trappings, I think it might still have made this list. At a time when licensed games were mostly a joke and console FPS games were certainly a laughing matter, GoldenEye 007 felt like a bolt of lightning long before you ever discovered the joy of fragging friends until you watched the sun rise. Thanks for watching. If you think there is a game we should have added to the list, leave a comment below in the section. Please subscribe and remember, new episodes drop every Monday through Friday.